when it just makes sense. Oh, it's your red pill, brown girl. And get into the truth. It's your red pill, brown girl. Yeah.
What is up, everyone? It's Crystal. It's your red-pilled brown girl coming at you. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching on this Sunday night. We are going to get into this war, this military operation. This military operation. We're not calling it a war. In Iran, y'all, we really need to talk about it. I think there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation going on and about it. And I really think that it's important that we frame it in a way that most people can understand. Because I think, if I'm being honest with you guys, I feel like the people that are in charge are being a little bit too nice in their messaging of this military operation. I feel like they are not just kind of saying what it is. And so, you guys, I'm going to take a moment today to say exactly what probably they don't want to say, or they're afraid to say, or they're afraid of looking bad. So I'm going to take a moment to say it. And hopefully you guys understand exactly what is going on. If you are new watching me and you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. You guys, I definitely appreciate everyone who hits the like button, everyone who subscribes. I am so grateful that you even watch me, you guys. Seriously. So I'm really thankful. I do want to make sure that I am saying it in a way that you guys can understand, because I think everybody is just kind of talking around what the real issues are. We're going to watch a couple of clips that I think are very, very important. When we watch the clips, I'm going to expound on them just from a normal person's perspective, you guys. You know, we don't do any fluff. This is just what it is. When it makes sense, this is what I'm with, okay? All right, you guys. So like I said, if you have not already, please smash that like button. I really appreciate all the subscribers, all the followers. I'm so grateful that you watch. Okay, so, but before we get into that, you guys, let's get into this messaging that President Trump said about Robert Mueller. Shout out to his family. May they rest in peace. I do understand that losing a family member is just very tough, you guys. So I don't take it for granted. Everybody is, however, crashing out about the fact that President Trump was not the nicest. Not the nicest person in regards to this, you guys. Now, I do say President Trump is who he is, you guys. I'm not going to change him. You're not going to change him. Nobody is going to change President Trump. He is who he is, okay? So everybody was crashing out about the fact that he did not use decorum in him addressing the death of Robert Mueller. But you guys, I keep telling y'all, he from New York, okay? You're only going to get what you get. You're going to get what you get. And when you hurt President Trump the way that Robert Mueller did, it's hard for him to hide it. It really just is. So, I like Scott Bessent, just real quick, you guys. I like Scott Bessent and how he answered the question, because everybody's going around asking for a statement from the people around President Trump, wanting them to denounce his words. Y'all, I'm not denouncing his words. I'm sorry. I love my president, and he is who he is, right? I'm not denouncing it. However, I am going to share with you, because I think Scott Bessent did a really good job of stating kind of what I would say in regards to President Trump and the words that he said. Excuse me?
I'm just getting water.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Y'all, that's my daughter. Okay. All right. Here we go. And I really think that this is a fair take. I know people don't like it. They want President Trump to be somebody else. He's just not, y'all. He is just not going to be who you want him to be. Okay? So Scott Bessent actually kind of breaks it down, and I actually really enjoy it. Here was what he said.
Yesterday, responding to the death of former special counsel Robert Mueller, he posted this quote, "Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people." Do you think it's appropriate for the president of the United States to celebrate the death of an American citizen, someone who's a Bronze Star, Purple Heart recipient and who served in Vietnam?
Kristen, I was with the president in the green room at Davos, and there was a video playing of the what may have been an illegal raid on his home at Mar-a-Lago. They are going through his wife's wardrobe, and I watched the look in his eye, and I think that neither one of us can understand what has been done to the president and to his family.
But to the question of the president's post, I mean, Robert Mueller didn't order that raid. Is it appropriate for the president to celebrate the death of any American citizen,
again,
Mr. Secretary?
I think that given what has been done to President Trump and his family, it is impossible for either of us to understand what he has been through.
So you don't think that there's anything wrong with the post saying, good, Robert Mueller's dead?
Again, I think that we should all have a little empathy for what has been done to him and his family.
All right.
Period.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
Period, you guys. Period. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Nothing else that needs to be said. President Trump has gone through hell, okay? He has been through hell when it comes to the Russia hoax. That was done by Robert Mueller. Now, you guys, I can easily say, because I'm a Christian, I can say, oh, well, we're supposed to forgive people. We're not supposed to celebrate their death. I can say that all day long. But let me tell you, President Trump has been through hell. He was impeached several times. People have lied on him. He's been shot at. And I'm sorry if he's just not excited about the people who have made his life and his presidency and his legacy a nightmare. So what do you want him to say? I know, you guys, it would be presidential for him to say, rest in peace. Shout out to his family. So sorry to hear that he passed away. I know that's what y'all want from him. However, y'all are not the ones that had to console his grandchildren as they arrested him, or he's trying to do his job as president and he's getting impeached because people are lying and making up things on him, calling him Hitler, so much so that these same people sat there and watched as he got shot, as he almost got shot in the face. Okay, y'all, spare me. You're denouncing, oh my God. And, I mean, you even see it with MAGA people. Like, people that are supposed to be President Trump supporters. Oh, well, that was mean. So what? At least he's not saying anything that made Robert Mueller get shot in the head. Okay? Hey, Helena, what's up, girl? Thank you so much for coming in. Girl, I'm just going off about President Trump because they want him to be somebody he's not. I'm sorry. He's just not. And you're upset that he did not say rest in peace, all the presidential things. That's just not who he is. So shout out to President Trump. I'll say it for you. Let me say it for President Trump. On behalf of President Trump and all the MAGA supporters in the MAGA community, Robert Mueller, may you rest in peace. Robert Mueller, rest in peace. And shout out to your family. I'll say it. Because he ain't going to say it. He's only going to be who he is. Anywho, you guys. Okay, let's get into this war. I really think that it's important. Oh my God. You said, oh, the EU is backtracking and it's funny. Let me tell you, we're going to talk about that. But let's get into this war because she said he's a boomer, a Gen X New Yorker. He just is, and he's not going to be what you or I want him to be. He's just not. Okay, Helena. Okay, so let's get into this war, you guys. Very important. So we know that the U.S. is doing a military operations with Iran, okay? Iran has got to comply. They have got to bend, okay? They have to. I know the mainstream media is just lying to y'all, telling you that Iran has a shot. They don't, okay? And you know what pisses me off? The mainstream media is so evil because this is the same thing that they're doing in the Ukraine and Russia war. Ukraine does not have a chance of beating Russia. They don't. However, what they're doing is sowing seeds of like, ooh, just hang in there, and got poor Ukraine fighting, and they don't have a chance in hell. Okay? They don't have a chance in beating Russia. Well, that's what they're trying to do with this whole Iran war. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know who talked to y'all or where you're getting your information from, but Iran cannot beat the United States of America on our worst day. Okay? Iran cannot handle the smoke of the United States of America. They can't, okay? And everybody is just lying. The mainstream media is making it seem like, oh, hang in there. And it's causing Iran, the Iranians, most of the leaders are dead, but it's causing them to continue to fight, and it's stupid. That's why President Trump continues to say that the media, the mainstream media, is the enemy to the people, okay? Because they don't understand, they don't want you to understand how truly powerful our military is. But Iran, good luck. They're out there fighting, right? And what they have always done when they fight us is they've always attacked ships coming through the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is where most of I think they said the narrowest point in the Strait of Hormuz. So the is 24 miles, right? So it's very small for these ships to go through, right? So what Strait of Hormuz has always done I said the Strait of Hormuz. What Iran has always done is when ships are trying to go through there, and I think it's China, Russia, a lot of the European countries get their oil through here, is Iran would attack the ships. So if they're attacking the ships and doing missiles, then then people don't want to go through it. I mean, because they don't want to die. So, and insurance companies don't want to insure it, so they won't go through. So Iran has always done this. What people are saying now is that, the United States didn't realize that Iran was going to control the Strait of Hormuz. They always have. So stop saying that we didn't realize it, okay? Pete Hegseth actually roast the mainstream media because they're talking like these people are new to this, okay? They're not, okay? The funny thing about the Strait of Hormuz is the United States of America does not need oil from them. We don't need to get our oil from that, okay? We don't need the Strait of Hormuz. However, it's important. It's very, very important that the United States controls that area. The Strait of Hormuz is international waters. And so what you have is Iran who thinks they're big and bad, who wants to control the Middle East, basically throwing missiles in the Strait of Hormuz, which is so interesting to me, you guys, because they keep saying Iran is not a threat to the U.S. They're throwing missiles or shooting missiles in the Strait of Hormuz anytime they don't get their way. Anytime they feel like they've been handled, okay? So stop saying that they're not a threat to the U.S. They are a threat, and they're a threat from many different ways. I want you guys to listen to Marco Rubio, and we're going to talk through it. So Marco Rubio, I think this was how many years ago? This was like 10 years ago, actually tells why the United States should deal with the issue of Iran. Before President Trump came in, Barack Hussein Obama, who y'all love so much, was giving Iran cash, like paying them. That was the Iran nuclear deal, paying them to not build a nuclear weapon. Well, because the United States, sometimes our leaders are stupid, okay? They really are. That they think that they can pay these people to do what we want them to do. Well, newsflash, we keep paying them and they're still doing what they want to do. They kill our troops and all kinds of things. They bomb our troops. They are terrorists, okay? But Barack Hussein Obama thought, oh, well, if we give them money, if we give them cash, they'll be our friends. Well, I can tell y'all anything, just in your own personal life. You always know that if you have to pay somebody to be your friend, they're not really your friend. And that's what Barack Hussein Obama was doing. Well, President Trump came around, he cut that deal in half, and he said, look, you're not going to have a nuclear weapon. We want to do business with you. We love the Iranian people. We want to help you. However, you and this administration cannot have a nuclear weapon, okay? And why did we say that? Y'all will not like the answer that I'm going to give you, but this is the answer. They cannot have a nuclear weapon because we said they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Let me say it for you again. They cannot have a nuclear weapon because we, the United States of America, the most powerful nation in the world, we run the world right now, said that they cannot have one. And that's the answer. Okay? Now, I could give you reasons why, because they are religious fanatics. Absolutely, Matt. They're religious fanatics. But so are a lot of people. So are a lot of people. They scream death to America. They out here acting like they big and bad and they can defeat us. However, there are some more reasons as to why. If they get a nuclear weapon, they are going to control the Middle East. The Middle East is the hub of the world's oil. If they control the hub of the world's oil, then they're the superpower. If you can control the hub of the world's oil, then you are the superpower. And that's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Let's listen to Marco Rubio break it down, because I think it's so important to hear him and what he said. Now, mind you, this is 10 years ago. And I don't think that this is getting enough play, or enough people are not explaining it correctly. But I really want you guys to listen. Scott Wilkins, you said they're terrorists. Absolutely. But let's listen, because I think that this is just really important.
Mr. President, I'll be brief. I know the senator from Tennessee would like to close on this matter. I think everything that needs to be said about the details of this deal have already been said. I do want to be recorded for history's purposes before I know what is going to happen in regards to this if it goes through. Iran will immediately use the money that it's receiving in sanctions relief to begin to build up its conventional capabilities. It will establish the most dominant military power in the region outside of the United States, and it will raise the price of us operating in the region.
Okay. You don't need to hear anything. When they are controlling the oil in that region, then what are they going to do with the nations, with the superpower of the world? They're going to raise the price of us operating in the region. Why would they not? Why would they? They run the show. Y'all, this is simple, like on the block, like kind of like this is normal. You know, like you let somebody come sell on your block, and when you're in control and you're the most powerful, you set the price. We cannot, as the world superpower, allow Iran to set the price of oil. Okay? If they had a nuclear weapon, there wouldn't be nothing that we can do about it. Let's go.
They're going to build anti-access capabilities, rockets capable of destroying our aircraft carriers and ships. Continue to build these swift boats that are able to come on us, these fast boats that are able to swarm our naval assets. And they'll make it harder and harder for U.S. troops to be in the region. They'll also work with other terrorist groups in the region to target American servicemen and women. And they may or may not deny that they're involved, but they will target us and raise the price of our presence in the Middle East until they hope to completely pull us out of that region.
Okay. They will continue to raise the price of us operating that region until we are completely out of the Middle East, okay? Why is that important, you guys? If Iran is controlling the price of oil, then Iran is the superpower. Do y'all not understand that? That in and of itself is a threat to us. So if Iran is getting nuclear capabilities, and if Iran is getting rockets to swarm us, they're getting hundreds and hundreds and thousands of rockets to destroy our military in that region, it's because they want to push us out. Well, first of all, we're not going to let Iran push us out of anything, okay? A country like Iran is not going to tell us where we can operate. Just like Venezuela, just like any other country is not going to tell us, America, the superpower of the world, where we can operate. Is that fair enough to say? Is that fair enough to say? I know you guys don't understand how this works. But if Iran can tell us where we're not going to operate, then Iran is the superpower, not us. I'm tired of y'all being weak. I need y'all to wake up and follow me. Y'all following me? Helena, you said they just tried to hit Diego Garcia. They can't be trusted to be. Yeah, they can't. They can't. They are desperate right now. And let me tell you, Marco lines it out. Let's keep watching.
They'll also continue to build long-range missiles. Missiles capable of reaching the United States. Those are not affected by this deal. And they'll continue to build them as they've been doing. And then at some point in the near future, when the time is right, they will build a nuclear weapon. And they will do so because at that point they will know that they have become immune. That we will no longer be able to strike their nuclear program because the price of doing so will be too high. This is not just a work of imagination. It exists in the world today. It's called North Korea, where a lunatic possesses dozens of nuclear weapons and a long-range rocket that can already reach the United States. And we cannot do anything about it.
Okay. Do y'all not understand why North Korea is not the world's hub of oil? We can't do anything with them. If they were the world's hub of oil, we would have to do something, but we can't do anything. So can you imagine Iran becoming like North Korea? We can't do anything with them. We had to move on them. If they can control the Middle East, then they can control everything else. So we were basically just passing on our status of the superpower. Then Iran becomes a superpower. Why would we do that, y'all? Why would we let our enemies become the superpower? Like, I don't understand.
An attack on North Korea today would result in an attack on Tokyo, or Seoul, or Guam, or Hawaii, or California. And so the world must now live with a lunatic in possession of nuclear weapons. And this is the goal Iran has as well, to reach a point where they become immune to any sort of credible military threat, because the price of a military strike would be too high. And then they become an established nuclear weapons power. And never in the history of the world has such a regime ever possessed weapons so capable of destruction. Iran is led by a supreme leader who is a radical Shia cleric with an apocalyptic vision of the future. He is not a traditional geopolitical actor who makes decisions on the basis of borders or simply history or because of ambitions. He has an religious apocalyptic vision of the future.
A religious apocalyptic vision of the future. Yeah, Jennifer, you said apparently they have memory loss or brain. No, it's just President. They don't like President Trump. It's amazing how many people forget that many presidents and other politicians prior to Trump said that Iran is a problem. Iran hitting Kuwait made me mad. Kuwaitis are the nice. They're desperate, Helena. They're desperate. And so for people to kind of not understand that Iran, these are the same people that straps bombs to themselves and in the name of Allah. Okay? So religious fanatics getting control of the Middle East and the world's oil supply. That can't happen, you guys. And we don't even need their oil. People can say, oh, it's all about the oil. It's not about the oil. It's about the control of the oil. The control of the oil, if it goes to Iran, then Iran is in control. We're not going to let them be in control. We're not going to forfeit our status as superpower. We're not going to do that. And trust me, you don't want that. You think gas prices are high now. You don't want to see how high gas prices can get when we are at the mercy of a nuclear Iran.
One that calls for triggering a conflict between the non-Muslim world and the Muslim world, one that he feels especially obligated to trigger. And he's going to possess nuclear weapons. This is the world that we are on the verge of leaving our children to inherit. And perhaps we ourselves will have to share in it. And so I want to be recorded for history's purposes, if nothing else, to say that those of us who opposed this deal understood where it would lead. And we are making a terrible mistake. And I fear that a passage of this deal will make it even harder for us to prevent it. And I hope that there is still time to change our minds. But here's the good news. Iran may have a supreme leader, but America does not. In this nation, we have a republic. And soon we will have new leaders, perhaps in this chamber, but also in the executive branch. And I pray that on their first day in office, they will reverse this deal and reimpose the sanctions and back them up with a credible threat of military force, or history will condemn us for not doing what needed to be done at this critical moment in the world's history.
Absolutely. So that was after Barack Hussein Obama gave money to Iran to convince Iran to stop building its nuclear program. But giving Iran money was only helping Iran continue to build, you guys. When President Trump shut out Iran and canceled the nuclear deal, they had no money. You need money to be able to build this. And you guys, like Marco stated, is our children are going to have to deal with us forfeiting our superpower status in the world. And people are upset that President Trump refuses to do that. Everything that he does is with our future and our future's children in mind. So if you don't understand that, then I don't know how to help you. And honestly, I'm not sure I can. I'm sure I can't help you. If you don't understand that we want to control the region in the Middle East. We want to be in control of it. We want our allies to be in control of it. We cannot have someone who is not our allies in control of it. People say that we're fighting this war for Israel. No. We're fighting this war for us. For us. Which brings me to, I think it was just so beautiful. And y'all, I don't know what it is with people and strong men. Like, yeah, Helena, you said, yup, they hate President Trump. I don't know what it is with people and strong men, but people hate Benjamin Netanyahu probably equally as much as they hate President Trump. And Benjamin Netanyahu, they kept saying that he was dead. He's not. So he came out 3 days ago and gave a speech. And y'all, let me tell you, I think he broke this down so well. And the Christians crashed out. They crashed out. They didn't even hear what he said. The Christians crashed out because Lord Jesus, God forbid, he made a comparison. But I do think that it's important that we sit and we watch it, and you guys, and I'm going to do my commentary on it, because I just like watching Benjamin Netanyahu and watching President Trump talk through what this war is going to look like is just so good. So good. Here we go. All right.
Removing the ballistic missile threat, and
Here we go.
under President Trump's visionary leadership, America and Israel are acting together in Iran with great determination and unprecedented strength. Operation Rising Lion is designed to remove the existential threats posed by the Ayatollah regime, the regime that has waged war against America and Israel and the people of Iran for 47 years. It chants death to America, death to Israel, and it delivers death to its own people. Our goals are three.
So let's stop there. You guys, if we are the nation's superpower, right? If we're the nation's superpower, I mean, like I said, the nation's, if we're the world's superpower, and somebody keep walking around saying death to America, death to America, death to America, and we just allow that to happen, don't you understand that you're not the superpower? Just think about it. Just think about it. Just think about it. Just think about it. You are the most powerful person on your block, right? So, you know, because I got to talk hood language to you guys. You're the most important person on your block. And you walking around, everybody like, yo, don't mess with Crystal. Don't mess with Crystal, because she is, yo, she'll knock you out. She is strong. She is powerful. And I'm walking around and I know I'm about that life, right? And then somebody comes down the block and say, Crystal ain't nothing. I slap the mess out of Crystal. I wish she would say something to me. Y'all scared of Crystal? I ain't scared of Crystal. I ain't scared of Crystal. What is going to happen if I don't handle my BI with that person? If I don't handle my business with that person that's talking all this junk, then sooner or later, I'm not going to be the superpower, right? Nobody's going to be scared of me, because they're going to be like, well, such and such came over and was talking all this mess to Crystal. Crystal ain't do nothing. Do you not understand how we cannot continue to be the world superpower and allow a place like Iran to talk all of this smack, to have illegal crossings in our neighborhood, taking over our schools and our city? We can't do that and still remain the superpower. So handling this is unnecessary. It had to happen. All right, let's keep going.
1, removing the nuclear threat. 2nd, removing the ballistic missile threat, and removing both of these threats before they're buried deep underground and become immune from aerial attack. And 3rd, this means creating the conditions for the Iranian people to grasp their freedom, to control their destiny.
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for...
Today, the Ayatollah regime is not only
You said, I think I've become more pro-Israel since this war. Me too. Me too, Matthew. And then, yes, Helena, we gonna get to it because the Christians straight up crashed out. The Christians crashed out about the book, right? Oh, God. I'm telling you. Here we go.
attacking America, not only attacking Israel, not only attacking the Iranian people. It is attacking the entire Middle East and beyond. They've attacked civilians and Americans and American assets in Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and they've even attacked through their proxies Cyprus in Europe. We've warned for decades that their ballistic missile program would be used to attack these targets far and wide, and if they're not stopped, that's just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is trying to blackmail the world by closing a key international maritime route, the Straits of Hormuz. It won't work. Israel is helping in its own way, and intel and other means, the American effort to open the Straits of Hormuz, rather. But I want to ask you to imagine how the Ayatollah regime would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads.
Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? I want you to imagine how they would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Look how they're acting, and they not even that, Iran's not even that hot, okay? Iran doesn't even have the nuclear capabilities that they were trying to get, and look how they're acting. They're attacking everybody in their neighborhood, closing the Strait of Hormuz, acting like they bout it, acting like they don't have to listen to us. Do you understand? If Iran does not have to listen to us, then we are not the most powerful nation. We told them to stop. They keep going. We're not the most powerful nation if we let that happen. I don't understand what y'all don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. Let's keep watching.
Just imagine what they would do. Look at what they're doing now and imagine what they would do if they had ballistic missiles, international range ballistic missiles, and nuclear-tipped warheads. Just imagine what a great threat that would be. So today, Israel and the United States are protecting America, Israel, the entire Middle East, but I venture to say the entire world. Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread since the start of the war 20 days ago, we are winning and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed. Hundreds of their launchers have been destroyed, their stockpiles of missiles are being hit hard, and so are the industries that produce them. That's important. In Rising Line, we destroyed missiles and we destroyed a lot of the nuclear infrastructure. But what we're destroying now are the factories that produce the components to make these missiles and to make the nuclear weapons that they're trying to produce. We're wiping out their industrial base in a way that we didn't do before.
Okay, so y'all understand that, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, if Operation Rising Lion or the United States wiping out their nuclear capability before, if it was already wiped out, then why do we need to do the war? We wiped out their ability to create the nuclear bomb that they wanted. However, they weren't just creating a nuclear bomb. They were creating multiple warheads and rockets. They were basically setting up to like be the dangerous. Dangerous. Like so nobody can mess with them. And y'all, we can't have that. We can't have that. We have to be able to mess with them. especially when they are trying to control the Strait of Hormuz, which is where most of the oil goes through. Okay? Here we go.
Iran's air defenses have been rendered useless. Their navy is lying at the bottom of the sea. Today we hit the other part of their navy in the Caspian Sea. Their air force is nearly destroyed. Iran's command and control structure is in utter chaos. And I can tell you that there's still more work to do, and we're going to do it.
Work today is broken. Every day, people juggle so many different tools just.
And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do?
No!
Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations. In this case, those interests are absolutely clear, and so is the clarity of our achievements. Together in close coordination with President Trump, the close coordination between America and Israel, our militaries, our intelligence services, we're achieving goals in lightning speed. But I want to say another word. It's been said that for 40 years, I've been saying that Iran is a danger to Israel and a danger to the world. That is true. You know who else said that?
President Trump.
President Trump. 47 years ago, when the Iranian thugs took over the American embassy, he said how dangerous this regime is. In his first term in office, he didn't need any convincing. He said the Iranian nuclear deal was the worst deal that he'd ever seen, and he walked out of it. Right before his second term, before he was reelected, I went to see him in Mar-a-Lago. The first thing he said to me was, "Bibi, we've got to make sure that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons." He said that to me. I didn't say it to him. He didn't need any convincing there either. Now, why did he say that? Because for more than 4 decades, this regime, as I said in the beginning of my remarks, is chanting death to Israel, death to America. But they say Israel is only the small Satan standing in their way. The great Satan is the United States of America. And these ideological fanatics, these lunatics, define their raison d'etre, their reason for being, as wiping out Western civilization and America that leads it. They have claimed the lives, they've maimed and wounded thousands of Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan. They killed the American Marines in Beirut. They bombed your embassies. They tried to assassinate the American president, Donald Trump, not once but twice. Now they blackmail for oil. Just imagine what they would do, what they're capable of doing, if these lunatics had nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them to every American city and every European city and everywhere around the globe. This is a danger for the entire world. It's certainly a danger for Israel. It's certainly a danger for America. We see eye to eye on that. President Trump and I, Israel and America. But I think if people are honest, if leaders are honest, they would understand that we're not only fighting our fight, we're fighting their fight. I speak to dozens of world leaders. Dozens. They all know that. And privately, they all say that. They say that privately, but I say it publicly. The world owes a debt of deep indebtedness to President Trump for leading this effort to safeguard our future.
Amen.
Thank
Questions?
you. We'll now take a few questions.
Okay. So I love what he said, that people are afraid of the public's perception, because in a normal world, you guys, and this is like people is you don't bother people that are not bothering you. Okay? They didn't strike us, so why are we striking them? Because y'all don't understand control. If we wait until they are nuclear armed, they may never strike us. They may never strike us because we wouldn't strike them, right? Because they're nuclear armed. But what they will do is control the world's largest oil uh what do you call pathway? Like, what do I want to say? Thea Matthew, we don't want to have another 9/11. You're exactly right. And what did you say, Helena? You said imagine them compacting a nuclear device for a book bag or something. Yeah, but imagine they don't, you guys. Like imagine they don't want to fight, right? Imagine that these people are not evil. They just want to have control like every other country in this world. They want control. So let's say they don't fight us. We won't be able to fight them and have control over them. And we're not going to do that. We're not. We don't need their oil. However, like I keep saying, we have to control their oil if we're going to remain the world's superpower. We have to. So let's fast forward to when the Christians crashed out. The Christians crashed out after this question. Okay.
Hey, business owner, tired of wasting hours on scheduling, attendance, and payroll? Connect Team's here to simplify all of it.
Public that if it does stand on its feet, we will not see another wave of a war with Iran in maybe 5 or 10 years.
Well, I'll say two.
You may. Do you see any signs that on the Iranian gas fields? My question to you, was the president aware of Israel striking that gas field? Did you approve it? And please, if you may, do you see any signs that the Iranian regime is collapsing? And what assurances do you give the Israeli public that if it does stand on its feet, we will not see another wave of a war with Iran in maybe 5 or 10 years?
Well, I'll say two things. Fact number one, Israel acted alone against the Slawia gas compound. Fact number two, President Trump asked us to hold off on future attacks, and we're holding out. What do we see? What happens if are there any signs that the Iranian regime is cracking? A lot of signs. A lot of signs. I wish I could divulge all of them, but I see that. But will I tell you, will I commit right now that it's going to collapse? I can tell you that we're working to create the conditions for it to collapse. But it may survive, it may not. If it survives, it'll be a lot weaker. There's no comparison. It'll be at its weakest point, shorn of industries that it built over decades, death industries, shorn of many other capabilities that they have, and equipped with the experience, with the knowledge that if they try it again, they'll be hit again even harder. I cannot tell you of the technological developments that we are engaged in to anticipate this and other possibilities. But Israel has shown that it can do wondrous things. And in partnership with our American allies, we can do amazing things. Amazing things. As Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, said, these are the two most amazing air forces in the world. It's the two most amazing intelligence services in the world. It has the capabilities to confront these barbarians and to outstrip them, both in innovation and, when necessary, in lethality. It's targeted lethality. It's going against the killers, and as much as possible to avoid civilian casualties. We have those capacities. We're building them for the future. That is what safeguards the future. You know, if people want to be naive, then they don't see the kind of world we're living in. In this world, it's not enough to be moral. It's not enough to be just. It's not enough to be right.
Y'all, that is so key as to what he said. It's not enough to be just. It's not enough to be moral. And it's not enough to be right. Christians, y'all know this. You can be as nice as you want to. You can be as just as you want to. You can be right. And people will still try to kill you. Okay? to me, the United States has been trying for years to be the moral, kind country, and we have gotten nothing but slapped in the face, okay, by every other country because we were stupid, okay? Here we have Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, saying it out loud, what people don't want to admit. Now listen.
You know, one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, someone that I admire a lot, was the historian Will Durant. Now, he wrote many volumes. I read most of them. He also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan.
The way the Christians crashed out, y'all. The way the Christians crashed out just let me know nobody can talk to y'all. Nobody can talk to y'all. This man is basically making a comparison. Well, he's not even making a comparison. He's bringing up a book that says the lessons of history. And he's saying that Jesus Christ had no advantage over Genghis Khan. Who is Genghis Khan? Let me read to you who Genghis Khan is. Genghis Khan, hold on. Okay. All right. Genghis Khan was, I think he was like a conquering leader. I guess he was considered evil in China, right? And so obviously he's not the son of God. He's not a Christian. However, he was overtaken. And what Bibi Netanyahu is basically saying is that even Jesus, who is the son of God, righteous son of God, Christians know him to be the savior of the world. He's risen from the dead. That's not what Bibi is touching. He's not even talking about that. What he's saying is that Jesus was perfect and he was still overtaken by leaders. I mean, by evil people. Sorry. He was perfect. Jesus was perfect and was overtaken by evil people. So when he said that Genghis Khan, he was saying that they were both overtaken by barbarians. He was not saying that Jesus was not the Son of God. He was not blaspheming, in my opinion. We have to be able to see things, you guys, in a lens that's not always spiritual, okay? Baby is not a Christian, okay? We can look at things through a secular lens, and we can look at Jesus Christ and his situation through a secular lens, not through my friend April, she says looking at it through a theological lens is different than a philosophical lens. And so through a philosophical lens, Jesus was perfect and right and just and moral and the Son of God, and still evil people killed him. That's all he was saying. I don't understand why y'all were crashing out. I don't understand. He goes on to explain exactly what he meant.
Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time.
Assert their will to defend themselves. Because we're Christian nation, sitting back and just letting people do whatever they want to. Letting Venezuela do whatever they want to, drug our people, bring drugs across our waters, bringing our enemies into our hemisphere, bringing China, taking over our Panama Canal. It was utter chaos that the United States was allowing to happen. And all Bibi Netanyahu was saying, thank God President Trump is not allowing this to happen. To see danger in real time. Not, oh, if they strike us, we're going to strike back. Oh, after we've lost hundreds and thousands of people. Do we want another 9/11? Oh, we'll strike back after. That's stupid. That's called stupid, y'all.
Before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths. We have to be strong. We have to be armed. We have to be more powerful than the barbarians, or they will not be merely at the gate. They'll crash our gates and destroy our societies. That's what Israel is doing now with the United States. And I'm very proud of the fact that the Israeli people are standing strong, that the Israeli army is standing strong. We rose from October 7th. Our people, our soldiers rose like lions. But in protecting ourselves and in joining with our great American friends, we're also protecting the entire world.
I love that he said that. You guys, we have to stand strong as well. We're not fighting Israel's war. And so what if it is? So what? So what if we're fighting our allies' war? We're supposed to. That's what we're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be sitting back and watching your friend get killed or get threatened and you not help them. So I don't understand what the issue is with the anti-Israel people. We have a whole NATO that is supposed to be jumping into a fight if we have a problem. And President Trump said, like he said, I don't believe NATO is actually going to help us if we need help. And NATO proved that they're not. So why are we paying all of this money? Why are we paying all this money to be in NATO? And we are just asking them, we don't even need them, to be honest. But we're asking them to come in so they have some skin in the game and protect the Strait of Hormuz, and they refuse to do that. Do you understand, like, how wrong this is? We're supposed to protect our allies, and Israel is our allies. Yes, Iran is a threat. Iran trying to walk around here and be bout it is a threat to us. Which brings me to my next video. Let's watch Iran, who, mind you, we are bigger, stronger, more powerful than them. They can't beat us. But what they can do is piss us off. And that's what they're doing. So Iran leader. We don't even know who Iran's leaders are, or maybe we do, right? But Iran cannot pick a leader unless we say so. Because I don't know if this guy is coming out and we've allowed him to come out. I don't know if we're getting to the end of it. But President Trump issued a 48 hour warning. He said if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter. What is that going to do? Hopefully, it'll get our allies to jump in, because if Iran's biggest power plant or is taken out and Iran can't things can't go through the Strait of Hormuz, that's not going to hurt us. That's going to hurt our allies, right? Also, this guy comes out and talking this smack. Listen
In
to
the
it.
name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. O you who believe, when you encounter those who disbelieve, see them weak and do not turn your backs to them in flight. The terrorist president of America has, in continuation of his aggressive and global destabilizing behavior, threatened that if Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz, he will target Iranian power plants. We have repeatedly stated that the Strait of Hormuz is only closed to the enemy and those making unprofitable trips, and it has not yet been fully closed and is under our intelligent control.
How are we going to be in power if it's under their control? No, we're going to control it. Sir, we're going to control it because y'all don't know how to act. Y'all can't be trusted. You can't be trusted. You building missiles and weapons and all kinds of stuff. No, we're going to control it.
Harmless passage under specific regulations is ensured with our security and interests in mind. However, if America's threats regarding Iranian power plants are implemented, retaliatory measures will be taken immediately. 1. The Strait of Hormuz will be completely closed, and it will not be reopened until our destroyed power plants are rebuilt. 2. All power plants, energy infrastructure, and information technology of the Zionist regime will be widely targeted. 3. All similar companies in the region that have American shareholders will be completely destroyed. 4. Power plants in regional countries that host American bases will be legitimate targets. Everything is ready for a major jihad with the aim of completely destroying all American economic interests in the Middle East region.
You see this dude talking mess? And y'all keep saying that they're not a threat to us. Like he's like bossing up on us. Like bossing up on us. If you come at us, we're going to do bum, bum, bum. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. No, bro. It don't work like that. We're in charge. You will surrender. That's what you got. That's your options. Or it's over for them. But you see how the media is portraying it and probably putting a battery in these people back. Hopefully this guy's smart enough to know that he don't have the cards.
We were not the initiators of the war, and we will not be now. But if the enemy inflicts damage on our power plants, we will do anything to defend our country and the interests of our nation, and the relentless destruction of the aforementioned targets will begin, and nothing can prevent the continuation of our operations to destroy the energy, oil, and industrial infrastructure of America and its allies in the region. And there is no power except that of the Almighty, the Wise.
Y'all, do you see this? He's trying to first of all, we don't need their oil. We don't need their oil. The United States of America doesn't need their oil. However, and I keep saying it, we cannot allow them who are not allies of ours to control it. Y'all, I was sitting here and I was thinking about Japan and why the bomb was put on Japan and there's this historian that does an amazing like kind of explanation as to why we did what we did. It was because Japan at the time would not stop. And that's how I'm kind of feeling about the Iranians, is that they don't have the cards. They don't have the cards. Yes, like Trump told Zelensky, you don't have the cards and you still want to fight, bro. And Zelensky and them are fighting against Russia. Russia is not nearly as powerful as we are. And Zelensky is trying to fight against Russia and they don't have the cards. Here we have Iran. They don't have the cards. Everything has been obliterated. And they think that they're going to be talking to us, telling us what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. You will do what we tell you to do, Iran. And that's what y'all don't understand about this. Y'all, I understand it on a normal level. When you're on the block and somebody is running the block and they have the guns and they have the power, you submit, you comply. But I don't know what this new generation is that he feels like he is going to control what the United States of America is going to do in that region. You're either going to comply, you're either going to come to the table and behave, or you're going to be gone. And that's how we are playing these kind of games. I know Barack Hussein Obama and Joe Biden with his auto pen was playing with y'all. But President Trump ain't playing. Okay? And so he's sitting there talking, oh, blah, 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 blah. Negro, you got 24 hours. Matter of fact, it might be less than that now. You have 48. You better figure it out. And y'all, this is to secure our future. If you think gas prices are high now, imagine how high gas prices are going to be when a country like Iran sets the prices, when they run the gas and oil industry in that region. We have to control it for the benefit of our children. Let's take a look at President Trump actually talking about this, you guys. Like, this is him years ago. He's not different. He's not different. He understood it and he kept saying that somebody's got to do something about this. We cannot let a country like Iran tell us what we're not going to do, y'all. And if a country like Iran tells us what we're not going to do, then we're not the superpower.
That, yes. I don't think there's any question. There's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation, and I believe that we should have done it, and I'm very disappointed that we didn't do it, and I don't think anybody would have held us in abeyance. I don't think...
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, and there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation, and I believe that we should have done it, and I'm very disappointed that we didn't do it, and I don't think anybody would have held us in abeyance. I don't think anybody would have been angry with us, and we had every right to do it at the time. I think we've lost the opportunity. When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do, and you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries. I honestly don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Obviously.
So Donald Trump is, what, in his 30s or 40s when he's talking about this? And like he said, we let a country like Iran is do that to us, and it's been allowed and nobody has done anything about it. But they got the right one. They got the right one. President Trump is not playing with these people. And then we have these weak Republicans, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. But real quick, let's look at President Trump's comments, because I just think that they're so good. Scott Bessent, y'all, is just so good.
And 3 weeks ago, as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told me exclusively on Thursday on Mornings with Maria on Fox Business that the White House would lift sanctions on Iranian oil that is already out at sea, like they did with Russian oil, which is in fact exactly what he did this weekend. The U.S. allowing 140 million barrels of oil on tankers at sea to be sold to the global markets.
We had a break the glass plan across the administration and at Treasury. We unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary, choke point there, and there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels. So depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China. In essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down for the next 10 or 14 days as we continue this campaign.
Yeah. So, hold on.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys,
And joining me now is the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz. Ambassador, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning.
Good to be with you, Maria. Thanks.
And I want to talk just about what Treasury Secretary Bessent said. This is not a new opening for Iran to sell oil. The maximum pressure campaign is still on. This is related just to those Iranian crude products that have already been loaded on vessels, correct?
No, that's absolutely right, Maria. President Trump's maximum pressure campaign that he put in place his first term, the Biden administration lifted, and he put it back in place within weeks of starting his second term, is absolutely still on. What Secretary Bessent is referring to are the barrels of oil that are already out at sea, are already going to go to Chinese markets. Now they can go to places like India, Bangladesh, or elsewhere. But here's the thing, and this is what the mainstream media keeps missing, is that the sanctions on the banks are also still in place. So we do not anticipate Iran sees any of that money. This is actually, as the secretary said, using their strategy against them. Their entire strategy, because they've been so defeated militarily, is to sow chaos, attack its neighbors, hold the world's energy supplies hostage, or at least attempt to. And this is yet one more step to defeat that strategy, on top of drill, baby, drill here at home, a waiver to the Jones Act, which allows ships to move between ports. We are going to defeat this strategy. It will be temporary on the part of Iran. And at the end of the day, the United States and our global coalition will prevail.
Well,
yeah, so we're actually selling Iran's oil to these other nations, the oil that is actually on the ships, and basically getting the money for it. I do know that we have to help rebuild, so we're going to control the money that comes in, which normally there wouldn't be any money coming through because they're sanctioned. However, because we are at a war with them, we're basically beating them at their own game. So the oil that they were trying to sell illegally, they were going to sell illegally to China. Now We're going to sell it. China can buy it from us, but they're going to buy it at market rates. Or it's just going to go to our allies, which I just think is so fantastic. It's really, you guys, as I keep stating, it's about control. It's about control. And I don't understand why y'all wouldn't want to have control over the world's oil supply. Like that's what we need. And that's what we have to have, you guys, if we're going to remain the superpower. Okay.
Iran is now taunting President Trump for asking American allies for help in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign minister said of the U.S., quote, they carried out large-scale attacks and again repeated the demand for unconditional surrender. Today, they are turning to other countries for help. He also argued the Strait of Hormuz is, quote, only closed to our enemies. Joining us now to discuss this and more is former Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. Thanks for coming on, Congresswoman. So we all know you were a longtime loyal supporter of President Trump, but you broke with him in part because you felt he was too focused on foreign affairs rather than the America First promises he made on the campaign trail. As we enter day 17 of the Iran war, do you believe the president's voters can trust him?
Well, just to be clear, the president broke with me over the Epstein files. So that always has to be said. He called me a traitor because I stood with women who were raped when they were 14 and 16.
They weren't raped, and you are a traitor. They weren't raped, okay? They weren't. You are a traitor. You're messy, and you like drama, okay? Like she does. She's sitting up. She never stood with these ladies with the Epstein files when President Trump's first term. She never stood with them with the Epstein files under Barack Hussein Obama. Like she likes drama. And you are a traitor.
But I do completely disagree where the president has led the country. You know what? It makes absolutely no sense, Pamela, going into midterm elections. Let's remove Donald Trump out of it. Let's just put any president in there. Why would an American president lead his political party into the midterms, waging a full-scale major war, completely unprovoked on Iran, on behalf of Israel? And that's the way most Americans see it.
This is why she's stupid, and I'm so glad she's gone, you guys. Why would a president do that? Unless they have to, dummy. Like, oh, wait till after the midterms and then Iran has a nuclear weapon. Dumb. I cannot stand weak people, y'all. Why would a president, before the midterms, take us into war? Oh, maybe because they have to. You think? Maybe because Iran was getting ready to build a nuclear weapon. Maybe because we were getting ready to lose our position in the Middle East. Maybe because we don't want Iran dictating the price of oil. You think, Blondie? Like you think, ditzy girl? Dum-dum? While you worried about 14-year-olds that gave somebody a hand job for $200, my president is out there making sure that 14-year-old is not wearing a hijab and being taken over, and the future of that 14-year-old is being able to feed their family. I'm sorry, you guys. This is the adults in the room. They're getting on my nerves. These freaking, quote unquote, MAGA people, make America great again people, are so majoring in the minors. It's annoying. Epstein is dead. If you want to prosecute somebody, prosecute that 14-year-old's mama. who was letting her go over and sell her attention to a grown man for $200.
See, this is for Israel, not for America. Why would an American president do that, which is forcing gas prices to hike right here going into spring break where families are going to be driving out of town, going into summer, declaring and waging a major full-scale war that seems to have no end in sight, that is not de-escalating, it's escalating every single day. And it just doesn't make sense. And the American people did not vote for this. This is not what we campaigned for, Pamela. I went to, I can't even tell you, countless rallies all over the country for President Trump, campaigning for him and Republicans because we wanted to win. And we said on every single rally stage, no more foreign wars, no more regime change. It's time to put America first. And this is a complete betrayal of those campaign.
This is why y'all got to get women out of politics, you guys. I'm sorry, because she cannot connect the dots in putting America first by allowing allowing Iran to control the Middle East and the oil reserves and oil supply in the Middle East is not America first. Like, she can't even connect those dots. And this is why I tell you guys, get the women out of politics. This is what you get. Oh, it's mean. Oh my gosh. I don't want to be in the war because it's mean. This is America first. Securing our kids' futures is America first. Always will be. Being able to control oil. Being able to control energy. Yes, exactly. Like, Elena, no end game. Like, oh my gosh, shut up. Exactly. She hasn't had a single brief on how. No. Go off, Alina. But yeah, like, it's like it's like they don't get it. They don't get it. They're weak. And that's what President Trump says. It's like, you're weak. I don't want your support because you don't understand. So, like, sitting here watching Marjorie Taylor Greene, what a disgrace she's become. What a disgrace she's become. And then the Democrats are basically holding up the funds for TSA, shut down the government. Nobody's talking about this whole government shutdown. I did see that Elon Musk offered to pay the salaries of TSA workers. You guys, honestly, it's just President Trump. They don't like him, and they are willing to do anything to make him seem like he doesn't know what he's doing, that he's not competent, you guys. But I have faith in this administration. I have faith in this president. I trust President Trump to lead us to a win in this season, you guys, y'all. If you just stay strong, if you are MAGA or if you are a President Trump supporter, I am telling you, do not be a fair weather fan. The mainstream media, we already know, are liars. Hang in there, you guys. Hang in there. We are going to be victorious in this war. Iran cannot defeat us. Shout out to all the families. I think it's 13 families that have lost their loved ones in the war. So thankful, grateful for your service. Thank you that you're for your sacrifice, that we can be free and that our children can have a better future. So, you guys, I don't know what to say besides don't listen to these people that are weak. Don't listen to them. Do not listen to them. Do not listen to them. Trust our leader, President Trump. Trust that he has our best interests at heart. I like our Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and if you get a chance to go out and see what he was saying, and our General Raising Cane, like, these people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and Iran doesn't stand a chance, and I'm grateful for that. So anyway, if you have not already, you guys, please subscribe, share, hit the like button, share this with someone. You guys, I'm just telling you, it just, once you look at it from these angles, it'll just make so much sense to you, like, why we're doing this. And thankful we have a president that is not scared. He ain't scared. He ain't scared. Anywho, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Helena, I appreciate you. Thank you for commenting, girlfriend. You know you my girl. Thea Matthew, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate you guys commenting. Please like, share, subscribe. And until next time. Oh, shout out to he is Blanchard. You guys, we did start a podcast that we're going to be doing on Thursdays called Unblack. You guys, please unblack yourself. Unblack yourself. If you are black, unblack yourself. Just be American, okay? Just be American. That's what we are. And you guys, please, on Thursdays at 9:00, check out that show. I will be posting when that show comes up, and we'll be streaming from this platform. But I just appreciate so much you guys watching me. I so much appreciate you guys just even listening to hear what I have to say. But like I said already, if you have not liked, share, subscribe, please do so. And until next time, peace.